Good.
We just finished our first 5-mile leg of a 10-mile training hike, Ted and I. So we're getting ready to sit down. We found some shade. And so far, my feet are all right. Now, one of the things that I discovered on the second to last hike that we did, I should say, is that the insoles on my boots were not very good. They were about 2 years old. I was wearing Marine Expeditionary boots, or MEBs. And so I went back, went to Dunham's, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get 2 pairs of insoles because I didn't know which pair was gonna be better. And I've got 2 pairs of boots. I got my Danners, and then I've got my Irish Setter elk hunters, which I'm wearing right now. And so I asked the guy, and you know, some of them, they're not particularly knowledgeable. And so I ended up getting the massaging, Dr. Scholl's insoles for my MEBs. And then I got the general all-purpose ones for my Irish Setters. And we did a hike a couple days ago, a little over 3 miles, but we had almost 250 feet of elevation gain and decline on that one. So that was some up and down along some soft sand in those Marine Expeditionary boots. So I feel like that was a pretty good test, and my feet did all right. And right now I'm wearing the Irish Setters with those general purpose ones, all-purpose ones, I should say, and my feet are doing pretty good. But one thing that we are going to do is we're going to sit down, we're going to take our boots off, we're going to relax for 20 minutes before we get back on. That way our feet can air out. And I was talking with a friend of mine that's a Special Forces soldier. Him and I had lunch the other day. He was working on Operation Northern Strike, and he does these anywhere from 50 to 200 mile races. He's got a 200-mile race coming up. And I said, hey, like, what is the trick to these long hikes and rucks so that you don't get tore up? And one of the things he said was stay on your feet all day as much as you can, and take breaks, let your feet air out, and switch socks. That is one thing we're not doing today, at least right now, but on the longer hikes, every 10 miles or so, we are going to switch socks out because our feet are going to be so pounding on those things that they're going to compress. We're not going to get any cushion, and having good quality socks is also something that's going to be really important. Don't just go get your cheap off-the-wall tube socks. You're going to want either a merino wool blend or possibly an alpaca blend, which I've got some of those coming right now. I'm going to try them out. I've never had them. But you can see Ted's got his boots off, and so we're going to grab some water and some food because we've been hiking decently hard, and we're going to get back on the trail here in a few minutes.
My feet stink, man. Oh.
I've got to hike with this guy. One thing to add, I just discovered this. So we're out in, I won't say a wilderness area, but we're out in public land. And we got our boots off, and I'm walking around trying to get stretched out, and I noticed that something was poking my feet. And initially I didn't really think much of it because we're around pine trees and everything. And then I got to looking down. Right next to my pack is porcupine quills. I was stepping in porcupine quills, and they were getting stuck in my socks, so I just had to pluck them all out. Thankfully, I didn't get anything stuck actually in my foot yet. But if you're doing something like this, pay real close attention to where you put your feet. Thankfully, Ted's over here barefoot, and he didn't walk in it. He's over away from my pack about 10, 12 feet.
I sat right there first, too.
Yeah, so, eyes open up there. You never know what's going to be here. Even if you're on the side of the road, you might have a roadkill porcupine or something of the sort. So stay vigilant. We are at the end of the 10 mile. We made it in about 3 hours and 25 minutes, and it's showing our pace at 2.9 miles an hour and an elevation gain of 307 feet over 10 miles, which sounds like a lot, but when you do it over 10 miles, it's really not all that bad, but it's still a decent elevation gain. One thing I can say, our legs, both of us are feeling it. We're gonna have to do a good stretch. But the insoles are working. Still not My feet still aren't hurting, and they're not on fire, which is good. So get some Dr. Scholl's.